Okay. So morning lecture, we are going to start the chapter number 3, measurement of force and torque. In that, uh, within 1 minute, I read the what points are covered in last lecture. It's morning lecture. First one is what is mean by torque, definition of torque. Next, definition of force. Then what is mean by load cell. Then classification of load cell, or commonly used load cell in regular basis. Then strain gauge load cells. Okay, so this lecture we are going to start the strain gauge load cell with the help of Wheatstone bridge. Okay, so I request all of you to draw this circuit diagram under the heading Wheatstone bridge. Draw this diagram, Wheatstone bridge, under the heading Wheatstone bridge. Draw this diagram. Completed? Anyone please reply whether diagram is completed? Okay. Okay. We have studied the strain gauge load cell with the help of Wheatstone bridge. This Wheatstone bridge circuit is worked on basis of Ohm's law, means current is directly proportional to the voltage divided by R, means I is equal to capital I is equal to V divided by R. In that diagram, there are four resistors R, namely R1, R2, R3, and R4 connected to the voltmeter. Therefore, output voltage is V0 and excitation voltage is Vx. When you pass the current with the help of this resistance, this current is directly proportional to the voltage and number of resistance. Okay, see the Vx is equal to excitation voltage is known as a constant, and output voltage V0 is a variable dependent on the shape of the strain gauges. Means V0 is a variable dependent on the shape of the strain gauges. Then if all resistors are balanced, these four resistors R1, R2, R3, R4 are all resistance are balanced, then R1 divided by R2 is equal to R3 divided by R4 or R4 divided by R4. Then V0 is 0. If all resistance are balanced R1, R2, R3 and R4, then V0 means output voltage is equal to 0, means balance condition. If the resistance in even one of the resistor changes, the V0 will likewise changes. If any one resistance will change its value, then V0 output is changed depending upon the changing resistance. The change in V0 can be measured and interrupted using Ohm's law. Ohm's law, I is equal to V divided by R. Ohm's law states that the current measured in running through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across 2 points. Means this current running through the directly proportional to these 2 points. Resistance R measured in ohms introduced as the constant in relationship independent of the current. Ohm's law का expression है I is equal to V divided by R. When applied to the four legs on Wheatstone bridge circuit, the resulting equation is V0, V output is equal to R3 divided by R3 plus R4 minus R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into V excitation. These are the resulting equation when you applied this condition in considering four resistance R1, R2, R3 and R4. If you consider two resistance only, the equation will be changed. Okay. In a load cell, the resistors are replaced with strain gauges. See this statement is very important. In load cell, the resistors are replaced with strain gauges and arranged in alternating tension and compression formation. Here, this resistance will be changed. Suppose these are connected in tensions, though these are connected in compression. Likewise, okay. Tension and compression formation. When force is exerted on load cell, the structure and resistance of strain gauges changes, and V0, V output is measured from the resulting data. V output can be easily determined using the above equation. Here, in load cell, consider this resistance connected in tension and this resistance connected in compression. When you passing the current with the help of this Wheatstone bridge circuit, Wheatstone bridge circuit, This output voltage is changed and they can be easily measured. Okay. Any doubt about strain gauge load cell Wheatstone bridge circuit? Any question? Any doubt? Okay. No any reply means no doubt. Then write down. Excitation voltage capital V small ex is known constant and output voltage capital V small 0 V out output voltage VO is variable depending on the shape of strain gauges. The shape of strain gauges. Full stop and next line. If all resistors are balanced, means R1 divided by R2 means R1 capital R1 divided by capital R2 is equal to capital R4 divided by capital R3. Then V0 capital VO is 0 means R1, R2, R3, R4 connected in balance condition or null condition, output is 0. Full stop and next line. If the resistance in even one of the resistors changes, then V output capital VO will likewise change. Full stop and next line. The change in V output can be measured. The change in V output can be measured and interrupted using Ohm's law. Full stop. Next. Ohm's law states that the current running through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across the 2 points. Full stop and next line. Resistance capital R is introduced as the constant in this relationship independent of the current. Full stop. Ohm's law is expressed in the equation, capital I is equal to V divided by R. Then when applied to the four legs of the Wheatstone bridge circuit, the resulting equation is V O, capital V, small o. V output is equal to bracket capital R3 divided by R3 plus R4 minus R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Bracket complete into Vx. Vex म्हणजे excitation, voltage excitation. Next line, in a load cell, the resistors are replaced with strain gauges and arranged in alternating tension and compression formation, when force is exerted on the load cell. The structure and resistance of strain gauges, the structure and resistance of the strain gauges and V output is measured. From the resulting data, comma, V output, capital V O, can be easily determined using the above equation. Means passed current is directly proportional to the voltage divided by resistance, number of resistors used in the circuit. Okay, these are the overview of strain gauge with example of Wheatstone bridge. Okay. Next title is force measurement. In that, four subtitle is there: balance and scale, proving ring, hydraulic load cell, pneumatic load cells. These are the four instrument or equipment with the help of measure the force. So first one is the balance and scale. Give the heading force measurement. Under the title force measurement, write down the four subtitles: balance and scale. First one is a balance and scale. Second one is a proving ring. Third one is a hydraulic load cell. And fourth, pneumatic load cell. Okay, these are the four instrument or equipment to use to measure the force. Next, give the heading balance and scale. Under this heading, draw this diagram: balance and scale. And draw this diagram. See the balance and scale. It's a very simple diagram. In today regular basis, we are going to use the digital weighing scale, but in uh, last 10 years, this weight scale is used. Here, standard mass is placed, and here put your some kind of any grocery or any material. Then these L1 and L2, L1 is equal to L2, L1 and L2 are the same. Here the fulcrum pin is there, and this pointer is displayed on the scale. Here 0 to 1 to 5, 1 to 5 year marking is there, and this pointer is get straight, means standard mass is equal to the unknown mass. Very simple concept is there. Okay. Here, force or weight is indicated by making a compression between force due to gravity acting on the standard mass and force due to gravity acting on the unknown mass. Very simple concept is there. Force or weight means make a compression between force and weight acting in gravity with standard mass and force due to gravity acting on unknown mass. They compare each other and find out the force. An equal arm beam balance consists of beam pivoted on a knife edge fulcrum at the center. Here, fulcrum at the center. Attached to the center of beam is a pointer which points vertically downward when the beam is in equilibrium. This pointer is vertically downward when these two masses balance or in equilibrium condition. That equilibrium condition exists when the clockwise rotation movement equal to the anti-clockwise rotation movement. Therefore, M1 I1 is equal to M2 I2. Okay? M1 means mass putting in two sides. Since the two arms of the beam are equal, then the beam would be in equilibrium again when M1 is equal to M2. Okay? These are the basic concept of measurement of force with the help of weight. Okay. So write down first point. Force or weight is indicated by force or weight is indicated by making a compression between the force due to gravity acting on a standard mass due to gravity acting on a standard mass and the force due to gravity acting on the unknown mass. An equal arm an equal arm beam balance मालिक में consists of a beam pivoted on a knife edge fulcrum at the center, full stop, attached to the center of the beam is a pointer which points vertically downward when the beam is in equilibrium. Next, full stop and next line. In equilibrium condition, in equilibrium condition exists when the clockwise rotating movement equal and anti-clockwise rotating movement clockwise rotating movement equals the anti-clockwise rotating movement. Therefore, M1 I1 is equal to M2 I2. Since the two arms of the beam are equal, the beam would be in equilibrium. The beam would be in equilibrium when M1 is equal to M2. Second force measuring instrument, proving ring. Give the heading proving ring and draw this diagram. I request all of you give the heading proving ring. Under this, draw this diagram. See the construction of proving ring. Here external boss is there, means external cover. In that circular ring is there. Then internal boss is connected. Internal boss is connected. This internal boss attached to this reed, and here micrometer screw is there. Construction. When a ring connected to the internal boss with the help of this reed, and external boss to connecting with the applying the force input, and this internal boss connected to the reed, this is dial, and index pointer means micrometer screw is there. This is the construction. When you are applying force on this side, these two sides, when you are applying force this side, the external boss changes its displacement. Means when you are applying force, this external boss changes its displacement. When get compressed, when push force get compressed and pull force then tensile, tension in tension. This compression and tension reeds will be vibrations are created. In vibrations are created in reeds, and these reeds connected to this dial and micrometer screw is get moved with positive or negative direction. Then this micrometer reading is calculated to find out the force. Okay. So the proving stress ring is known as a physical dimension and mechanical properties. When an external compression or tensile load is applied to the external bosses, the ring changes its diameter, the change being proportional to the applied force. Here, when you are applying force on here and here, this applied force changes its ring diameter. When force is push type, then it's compressed. When force is pull type, then it get tensile. This changes in displacement. The amount of ring deflection is measured by means of a micrometer screw and the vibrating reeds which are attached to the internal bosses. Okay. Here micrometer screw is there and this vibration reed is there. The change in displacement when you are applying force on this ring, change weight get displaced. This displacement get captured. The reeds are vibrated, and this vibrated reading is connected to this micrometer screw. During use, the micrometer tip is advanced and its contact with the reed is indicated by considerable damping of the reed vibrations. The difference in the micrometer reading taken before and after the application of load is the measure of the amount of the elongation or compression of the reed. Before applying load, you have to measure the micrometer reading, and after applying load on this external bosses, you have to measure this micrometer reading and compare before and after applying force reading and find out the or measure amount of elongation or compression of the ring. Okay, so write down the proving stress, the proving ring. The proving ring is a ring of known physical dimension and mechanical properties when an external when an external compressive or tensile load is applied to the external bosses The ring changes in its diameter, the change being proportional to the applied force. The change being proportional to the applied force. Full stop and next line. The amount of ring deflection is measured by means of a micrometer screw and a vibrating reed which are attached to the internal bosses, which are attached to the internal bosses. Full stop and next line. During use, the micrometer tip is advanced and its contact with the reed is indicated by considerable damping of reed vibration. Considerable damping of reed vibrations. The difference in the micrometer reading taken before and after taken before and after the application of load is the measure of the amount of elongation or compression of the ring. Full stop. So today stop here. Division A, place your roll number and leave the meeting immediately. Thank you very much. Division B, place your roll number.